up, gamers? My name is Offbeat Outlaw, and I'm come to tell you something. You guys suck at playing Baldur's Gate 3. This is just a tradition now. You click an Offbeat Outlaw video, I instantly antagonize you, you downvote the video, and I become destitute and under a bridge. But hello, my name is Offbeat Outlaw. I am a professional dungeon master, DMer, YouTuber, skit maker, asshole on the internet, and recently I've been getting really into Baldur's Gate 3 because it combines a whole bunch of those things. It's pretty epic. The epic style. God, this sucks. And because of my knowledge of D&D, I've been able to make some pretty strong builds in Baldur's Gate 3. I'm busy making those builds, but it just takes a while to play the game. And look, the first few times I played the game, I wasn't exactly what one might call thorough or smart when it came to piecing together what builds I should get and the equipment I was going to need. So I'm having to do multiple playthroughs just to get those builds going. The builds are coming. The build breakdowns are coming, I promise you. If you are itching to see what I think is currently really good, please check out some videos, links in the description. I have a build on the Monk Rogue and the Sorcerer Cleric already. I highly suggest you check those out. But today we're going to be talking about your multi-classes. That's right, Larian Studios on PlayStation Blog, one of their designers, released the top multi-classes in Baldur's Gate 3. That is right, we have the data of the most common multi-classes, and we're gonna be going through them, and I'm gonna talk about them, and I'm gonna give them a score out of 10 and tell you whether or not you're based or you're dog shit. Now, the score is basically a 7 out of 10 means I like it and I would play the class. A 6 out of 10 means it could just do like a little bit of a tweak, and then a 5 out of 10 means like good job, you're playing a video game. It means basically you're playing a pure build, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, it's less interesting. Anything above 7 out of 10 means you did awesome. With that, let's get into the video. But before that, you got tricked. Please be sure to check out the Patreon. Link in the description, of course. My Patreon is only $3 a month, and what does it get you? Gets you all of my videos 24 hours early. Every single video I make, post, produce, every single one of those is 24 hours early and at your fingertips. So if you want to see all those vids 24 hours early, as well as DM me a litany of questions, I try to answer those as soon as I can. I try to answer them once a day. I do forget sometimes, but I do respond on my Patreon. So if you want to send me your ideas, your build creations, what happened to your D&D game, please be sure to check that out, as well as just Twitch. I stream every day on Twitch. Anyway, to the video. Enough plugging. So here we have the top 20 multi-class combinations, and as we can see, all the way at number 0, the least common one is the Fighter Warlock. This surprised me. There is a surprising lack of fighter in this list as a whole, from what I've seen, and I kind of get it. Fighter isn't as strong of a multi-class as it is in D&D base because it's much easier to get extra actions. There's potions of haste. There's the haste spell that gives you an actual just full extra action. In 5e, the haste spell did not do that. It gave you some dummy action that you could only dash, disengage, hide, and make a single weapon attack with. But in this game, it's much easier to get action surge, so I'm not surprised to see the fighter, a warlock this low. Warlock is also a weird combination to pair with fighter. Like, I don't really know what Warlock is giving Fighter, that Fighter doesn't already have already. Fighter wants to be in the fray. Warlock wants to be at a distance casting Eldritch Blast. So I don't really see what Warlock gives Fighter other than maybe gives it free mage armor if you're a Dex fighter. Maybe gives you some dark vision. This is a very peculiar combination. I'm gonna give this like a 5 out of 10. I'm sure it does something, but I don't see what it does for you. Honestly, I might even give this a 4 out of 10. Fighter Warlock does not make sense right now. I'm gonna think about it more, but I'm also gonna not. Next, Sorcerer Paladin. This really surprised me. Sorcerer Paladin is one of the strongest multi-classes in 5e, and I'm pretty sure in Baldur's Gate. I just don't think many people wanted to try it out. Because what this does is it gives you the ability to, as your main action, weapon attack with 2 smites that are high level, and then quicken spell something else. so you can still get the benefits of being a full spellcaster while also slamming people in melee. It's a really strong combination. Also, it gives you Constitution saving throws as your proficient saving throw as one of them, so it means that you can have concentration spells up in the middle of the battlefield. Like, this is a crazy strong combination. I'm very surprised that it's not higher up. 7 Sorcerer, 5 Paladin rips ass. I'd rate this an easy 7 out of 10. Like, Sorcerer Paladin is awesome. Ranger Rogue. This surprises me because Rangers are really good, but Rangers have a terrible rap. Like, Ranger is a really good spellcaster. Rogue gives you like a little bit of sneak attack damage, and if you're a Thief Rogue, you get 2 bonus actions. Actually, this is really strong. More people should be playing this. Ranger Rogue, I think, is actually quite strong, especially if you play like a Gloomstalker or something. Holy shit, Ranger Rogue is really powerful. Give them 2 hand crossbows and bam, 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 you're a minigun. That's awesome. People are sleeping on Ranger Rogue. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Paladin Sorcerer. Just like Sorcerer Paladin is just more focused on the melee, and you can give yourself the auras that help give you better saving throws and or potentially give you resistances. Paladin Sorcerer, another really strong build, strong to like single multiclass. I'd easily give that a 7 out of 10. I have no idea why it's this low. Rogue Monk. Rogue Monk is worse than Monk Rogue, so people should not be doing this. Rogue is not that strong, okay? Rogue gets a lot of free press. People love the Rogue because they like being sneaky or whatever. It's good, but it's not this good. It shouldn't. I don't think it's a strong main class because your damage is actually weaker than a lot of other classes. If you don't know how that works, basically, Rogues, the sneak attack dice is tied to your level. By level 12, you're adding on an extra 66 once per hit. So this means that effectively 66, it averages out to 21 extra damage, which is like nothing. It's so bad. So unless if you're playing Rogue Monk where you're at least like 5 Rogue or even at least 6 Rogue and 6 Monk, that's good. Anything else, though, shockingly bad, I would say. Rogue Monk, I would give this a 6 out of 10. I'm skeptical. Paladin Fighter. Paladin Fighter is a mainstay of 5e, and I'm surprised it's not higher. Action Surge is still a good ability. Even though it's easier to get extra actions in this game, Paladin Fighter still provides you with Battle Master techniques, which are crazy strong. People are sleeping on Battle Master techniques, or you get an extra spell slot by being an Eldritch Knight, or you get an extra crit range if you're a Champion Fighter, which isn't too strong, but it's still viable with a Paladin. Paladin Fighter, people are sleeping on this. This should definitely be higher. Easy 7 out of 10. Sorcerer Warlock, another weird one being this low. People are... What is up with the fucking player base of Baldur's Gate? Y'all are doing weird shit. Y'all need a talking to. Sorcerer Warlock is another really strong multi-class in general. Sorcerer giving you access to really high spell level stuff. Quicken Spell, Meta Magic, really strong. Warlock giving you access to Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast being a really strong damaging cantrip. The Sorcerer Warlock should definitely be higher. I would rate this another 7 or 8 out of 10. Next up we have the Rogue Bard. Rogue Bard. Huh? Do people just like picking Rogue to start and then multi-class to try out other classes? Because this is not making sense to me. I don't know why you'd be Rogue Bard specifically. Like, I can see Fighter Bard. I could see Paladin Bard. I could see almost any other martial in Bard, but Rogue Bard is very weird to me. I'm gonna give this like a 6 out of 10. Rogue is not a good main class. Multi-classing, it's one of the strongest because of the Thief. But main class, it's very underwhelming. Fighter Barbarian. Yeah, it's good. Fighter Barbarian. I'm just going, because it's low. I guess I am thinking about higher level. I gotta be real. Like, higher level, Fighter Barbarian is strong. Mid-level, it's okay. I mean, it's all the strengths of Barbarian, but you get Battle Master techniques. Do people just not like Battle Master techniques? Do they think they're lame? Are Battle Master techniques lame?
The tea is exceptionally good today.
It's usable in so many things in this game. It's really good. I feel like a fucking boomer. What's happening with you people? Rogue Fighter. This is dog shit. I'm trying it currently in my game as Asterion. 2 levels in Fighter, maybe 3 for Battle Master techniques, but it just ain't worth it otherwise. It really isn't worth it. Asterion's not pulling out the damage I would like him to. Wizard Sorcerer. kind of based, but also kind of not. I guess I have to give this a 7 out of 10 because I'd play it. I do kind of want to respec Asterion into something else because Rogue Fighter is really not doing it for me. I kind of just want to, it's aight. It's only aight. Wizard Sorcerer. No. Meta magic is not worth a wizard losing access to higher level spell slots. Wizards are too good for this. Don't sully them with a sorcerer. But real talk, you'll miss out on some higher level spells if you invest too heavily in Sorcerer, and there's some really, really good 6th level spells that you want and some 5th level spells that you want on a wizard. So, Wizard Sorcerer, I'm giving this a 6 out of 10 just because it's not worth it to split these two up. Just go full Sorcerer or go full Wizard. There's no reason to be both, yeah, if that makes sense. Warlock Sorcerer. This one kind of makes more sense because a Warlock functions very differently. This gives you a spell slot base and allows you to quicken spells and gives you access to quickened Eldritch Blast, which is very fun and good. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Warlock Sorcerer passes. Warlock Paladin. This is... I'm gonna give this a tentative 7 out of 10. Warlock Paladin is kind of okay, but it's also kind of like, what are you doing? Be careful. You don't have a lot of spell slots as a Warlock, so you can't be releasing your smites on them. You, as a high-level Warlock, you also have a lot better things to be casting and using your spells on. You have hypnotic patterns. You've got fireballs to cast. You have other things to do as a warlock that it doesn't really mesh with being a paladin. I guess if you're doing the melee warlock, that could work, but I don't know. It's Paladin Warlock, this on the other hand works. Why? Because it's taking all the things that are good from a Warlock and giving it to the Paladin. You see, if you're spending too much time as a Warlock, you're missing on a lot of spell slots. But this Paladin Warlock, you actually have more spell slots, and you get Warlock Pact slots, which do what exactly? They give you your spell slots back on short rests, which is invaluable. Taking your short rests and then being able to have smites back, that's super, super, super fucking useful in a Paladin. Highly recommend. 8 out of 10 build. Fighter Paladin. This is like okay, but you're not having enough spell slots to really get benefits out of your smites, so I don't really get why you do this, especially as a top 5 build. I think you have better things to do than be a paladin. I think Fighter Barbarian should definitely be higher. But I'll give it to them. Maybe they have fun. Cleric Paladin. This one is, look, this is very thematic. I can see why people picked this, but honestly, go Bard. Go Bard Paladin. If you want to do like something with Paladin and a high level spellcaster, Bard Paladin rips ass. Bard Paladin gives you the ability to use like these cool sword flourish maneuvers as well as your smites at the same time, and it gives you tons of high level slots, and it gives you concentration spells that are worth a damn. Bard Paladin rips ass. The fact that it's not on this list makes me sad, because Bard Paladin is awesome and it should be here. But Cleric Paladin is still good. It's not terrible. I just think that there are better things to pair Paladin with. So you only have to dip 2 levels into Paladin, but you can still get really high levels into Bard. I'm going to give Cleric Paladin a 7 out of 10. I'd play it, but I'd be wishing I was a Bard Paladin the whole time. Barbarian Paladin. This one, okay. People, this is one that people have been heralding since 5e, okay? I get it. It works. You can smite while raging, but you can do that twice. You can do that 3-4 times per day. It's not worth it. It's not worth all that investment into Paladin. It really isn't. Yes, you can smite while raging, but if you want to smite, just be a paladin. There's no reason to be a barbarian and a paladin. Barbarian Fighter is way better. Barbarian Rogue. If you go Barbarian Rogue, dip into Thief, that makes sense. Barbarian Rogue makes sense because then you can be dual wielding weapons and get those extra hits in and getting more use out of your modifier damage. That makes a lot of sense. Barbarian Paladin, though, does not. I get it, you can smite while raging, but you've got other things you should do. Barbarian Paladin gets a 5 out of 10. Barbarian Fighter. This is a make sense of D&D builds. This is like, yup, that sure is a build. Barbarian Fighter, it builds off of everything. Gives you a fighting style, gives you armor proficiencies if you want to have a higher AC, gives you access to martial weapons and some other, I think Barbarians already have that, but gives you action surge, so you have a bit more burst damage every short rest. Barbarian Fighter makes sense. There's no, I don't see any problems with it. It's one of the make senses of builds. Easy 7 out of 10. And finally, all the way at the top, we have the Rogue Ranger. This surprised the shit out of me. Really? Rogue Ranger. It's not bad by any means. It just surprised me. Rogue Ranger can be good, especially if you go Thief Rogue. Because Rogue Ranger, then Thief Rogue gives you that extra bonus action, which you can then use to go patoo, 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 patoo. And then if you're a Gloomstalker, that's another patoo. And you've got really good concentration spells and a touch of sneak attack damage to do a little bit more stuff with it. They kind of thematically fit together. You can sneak around and position yourself in really hard to reach places. Rogue Ranger makes sense. 8 out of 10. But that is the multi-classes. Which ones did you like? Which ones made sense to you? Which ones do you think I'm off my mark on? I think I did a decent job. I think there's definitely some merit to this. I think some of these builds I'm definitely looking at and being like where's the Monk Rogue? Monk Rogue is awesome. Why is no one playing that shit? That shit goes hard. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Offbeat Outlaw. It has been a pleasure going through the top 20 multi-class combinations. Which multi-class combination do you have that wasn't on this list? Because there's gotta be your favorite. Anyway, that is all. Get the fuck out of my house.